Okay, and welcome to Where Wendy Creates. Today, I thought we would play with some buttons, some instant hem, no ironing needed, no sewing needed, instant fix, a double-sided tape, and I've got a whole bunch of ribbons I thought we would play with. So taking some ribbon, and we're just trimming off the very, very edge where it has been the seam, if you will, on the very edge, so that we can go ahead and see if we can do a raw edge, just like I like to frou-frou it up on some of my fabrics. We're going to pull some of the long threads out of the ribbon and see what fun we can have with the looks of that. So we're pulling off those threads. And threads, if you know on fabric, on ribbon, they go in two different directions. We're going to go in for a closer look. And we're seeing how these sides of it, if I can find the sides, just get that soft, movable feeling. All right. And again, all we're doing is we've trimmed off one edge. We're going to the edge of one side. We've cut off, looks like about an 8-inch piece, roughly, no measurement. And we're making it...
feather.
Feather. We're making it feather. There you go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our double-sided tape and we're going to trim it to where we can use this same piece on two different pieces, because we only need the sticky half that width.
Pulling away.
Okay, and we're also going to take some beautiful 1/2-inch ribbon and satiny ribbon and make bows, or excuse me, flowers, and we're going to put buttons in the middle.
You have the two cut pieces.
And we can do this with wire, or we can do this with needle and thread.
To where it's spreading around. And then you can use a hot gun glue. We're going to use needle and thread to put our button as the center of our flower. And if we would have left our strings long, look how pretty that is. That'd be great on a present as well, don't you think? Pull the sticky back off.
Okay, so we've pulled the paper off of the sticky part.
And now let's make our stiletto with our ribbon. Are just rolling it around the end, slightly down as we go.
And we're using a skewer. You can use a straw, but a skewer is much more sturdy. And we're just wrapping that double-sided tape with a ribbon around the end of the skewer. That is awesome. Look at that. Threads, texture.
And when you get to the very end, you just pinch it tight against the stick.
Okay.
To put anywhere you want to put it. You can make the feathers go one direction. You can make them just fly everywhere.
Okay, so it is like a feather.
It is sort of like a feather.
That is neat. So we can use that on our skewer, which I use as a stiletto at the sewing machine. We can put that on our pens or pencils. Okay, so here we're taking the same ribbon, and I have cut 3 pieces and affixed them to our double-sided tape, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can't create a feather effect out of this. Okay, so we've got 3 on the double-sided tape, and let's see if I can't start pulling the threads here. We have pulled all the threads from our 3 pieces of ribbon on our double-sided tape. We have affixed them down all on top of each other, and this is the beautiful top that creates with just using 3 pieces of ribbon approximately 3 inches long. Okay, and we have made 2 stilettos for sewing with our threads to make sure that we don't get our fingers in the way of our sewing machine to hold down the fabric. And they are frou-frou fun. So we have 2 stilettos done with ribbon. Use our thread and needle to start our bow. And every so often we're going to stitch through it to hold it in place, and we're going to top it with a button. Just like we did with the wire, except we're using thread and needle. Contrasting threads just so you can see how little we stitch to hold our ribbons in place. We're going to bring it over, try and keep them approximately the same length for our flower petals. And holding the camera and trying to do this at the same time is quite fun, so I do apologize if I get it off kilter here. But I am so glad you are here with me today creating different fun with ribbon. And let's see how many flower petals we want on here before we pop our button back on. And let's stick a needle in there, shall we? Sew another stitch. And again, the stitch just helps because I only have so many fingers to hold them in place. And it looks like our flower is getting full. Let's bring it back in to maybe a couple of stitches right there at the end, and then we're going to pop our button on it to hold our button in place. And I apologize if I'm getting you out of camera range. Okay, now we have to decide what size button we want in the middle. Whether we want a little one, whether we want a big one. Let's put a big old happy middle in there, shall we? I think our hummingbirds are going to want to come play with our flowers. Get our needle back through here to find a hole in our button. Where's our needle? There we go. Okay, let's give it a quick little knot, and then we're going to put the center in. And I started with a mess of a nest on the back, so. And a few more stitches, and we're going to have this first bow down pat. Right up through a hole.
And now we are going to grab the center of our flower. We're going to put the center of our flower there and lock him into place. Okay, and a couple more stitches and we are going to knot him down, and then we're going to put that on the front cover of our journal. And I just need 2 more hands. What do you think? Okay. And she's going to go on the front of one of our junk journals. Beautiful. Okay, so we've laid out a pink one as well, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can't put a beautiful bouquet in the center of this one. So let's audition some little pieces. Kind of like that one. Looks like a little 2-hole. So let's go ahead and stick that white one on. And then we're going to... I don't know if we're going to sew this down onto the junk journal or glue it. I'm tempted to say let's just go ahead and sew it onto the fabric front cover. But we want to go ahead and find the holes on the button and get that one down tight. And then we'll pick out, I think on this one with the white bow button, we want to go ahead and put a clear button on the top. I like that idea. See if we can find the hole on the button. We're just sticking the needle back through to try and find the hole. And then we've got these beautiful buttons to choose from. This one sticks up quite a bit. I like that one. Not sure how that one goes on. It looks like it comes on sideways though. Not sure if that one's gonna work. Let's see if I can do that sideways and then pull it down through the opposite side and pull. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Okay, I think that one's gonna work. So let's knot that one into place. Gotta pull her real tight, and then we're gonna do another side stitch, and we're gonna pull that real taut so it holds that button in place. And now I can feel free to knot it. So today with ribbon, instead of just putting them as bookmarks in the junk journal or as sides of the pockets, we are making a stiletto, which I desperately needed for the sewing machine, and some bows for the front covers of the junk journals. So let me see if I can get those junk journals out and show you what these beautiful bows are going to look like on the front covers. And knot that before it goes through. All right, let's go take a look and see how these are going to look on the front covers of the junk journals. Okay, so I've picked out 2 of our junk journals, and we're just going to go ahead and sew on the ribbons. I think the pink one looks great on that, and this one I think it needs some pick-me-up, so we're going to put that red one. Don't know if we're going to put it there or right up in the top corner to balance it out. What do you think? Here on the pocket, I can sew that real easy onto the pocket, or I can put it right up top.
And that one just looks absolutely beautiful. So we've used buttons, we've used ribbons, we've put them onto the junk journals. And let me just open this one and show you real quick, just as a reminder, some other ways to use ribbons is to go along the side of your pages. They look very great. It's like a little bookmark, tells you where that page is. Or if we go back further into the junk journal, you'll see that I have used other lace and ribbon on the sides of different pages. We can also use them as a tassel on the pages, just on the sides of pockets. We've also used ribbon as the pocket. This is actually a ribbon we've used as the pocket in a junk journal. So as you can see, there are lots and lots of ways to use ribbon. I've just cut a little bow off here and I've used it on a belly band in the junk journal. Again, on the side of the pocket here. So lots and lots of great ways. Look at the lace. Lots of great ways that we have used ribbon, but I think today making the stiletto, which I'm going to make some more of these, use them as bookmarks or tassels on some of the top of my bookmarks. And belly bands, use them in there. Look at this also. I've used some lace around a pocket edge. Lots of different ways and uses in junk journals to use up all of your beautiful ribbon. But I think putting this bow in the top corner is what I'm doing there on both of them. And thanks for joining me today as another Where Wendy Creates. And tomorrow, let's get back out the sewing machine and go through another tutorial. See you soon.